sounds from the novel space, right?
I'm going to welcome all my aliens, apes, and zap. I'm going to click a couple buttons here so we can get some live action going. And I can't wait. I mean, we got the international language of NFTs going across the pond, all the way from Chicago to Germany. It's 9 a.m. So good morning, GM in the Chicagoland area. I'm going to play some tunes and get some buttons clicked in, and then we're going to have Warren himself come up and talk about he's best-selling author, DJ for 23 years, but we'll get some warp sounds going. I'm going to try to get in on the Novoverse and see what we got going on. So here we go. Hang on tight.
Yeah, GM guys.
All right, sorry for the long intro. I was trying to get up into Decentraland, which I have. If you're looking at the pinned tweet up top, I think it's up there. Let's double check. The pinned tweet up top, not quite there yet. I'll get it there in a second. We have Paris Shilton streaming this live video action, so you can actually watch this and listen to it as well. That's what kind of tech we got going on. I think it's in there. We got 9 people watching live just alone at Paris Shilton. And then we'll see if you guys want to hop in there as well. We're live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch. We are live on Spaces. We are live everywhere we can be on this fun day, Sunday. And we are with Warren himself, author, best-selling author that is, USA Today best-selling author. So it's just not like, right corner. How about you tell us a little bit about yourself here, Mike, and what you've been up to in this Web3 space, making a name for yourself and getting that NFT word out there?
Yeah, sure. My name is Mike Hager, Hager. I'm from Munich in Germany. This is Bavaria. This is where the Oktoberfest happens. I'm 48 years, I think in December. And I started in radio. I did radio for 23 years, 20 years of these for the most listened to German radio station. I did a comedy character there with a daily show, and quite well-known comedy character here in Bavaria. And I'm super interested in personal finance. And after 23 years of radio and being a little bit bored of that, I wrote my first book. It was a bestseller in Germany. It was all about personal finance. And I've always been interested in everything investing. I bought my first Bitcoins in 2013. So I've always been interested in crypto, did all the bear markets, all the ups and downs and all the crypto winters and know all of that stuff. And in February last year, 2021, or in January even, I heard about NFTs and was like, okay, it has something to do with crypto. And I asked all my crypto friends and everybody was like, what's that? Never heard of that. And just like 2013, where I asked all of my friends about Bitcoin, everybody was like, I haven't heard of that. And as soon as I explained that to them, they were like, yeah, it's a fraud, it's a Ponzi, it's a pyramid scheme, we stay out of there. And I went in. And later on, last year in January, I told them about NFTs then, and I said, yeah, well, it's JPEGs on the blockchain. They were like, yeah, it's a Ponzi, it's a pyramid scheme, stay out of there. And I went in even more than I went in at the time in 2013 with Bitcoin. And I started to buy my first NFT. in February last year. It was a CryptoPunk. Bought a second one on the same day. And you own many CryptoPunks, and you owned many CryptoPunks. No, because you very successfully traded them. I'm a diamond hand hodler, so I have my 3 CryptoPunks, and from that moment on, and NFTs are just a part of my daily life. I'm reading about them. I'm tweeting about them. I'm having a Discord. I wrote my book about them. I have a community of 500 people that are in a mentoring of mine. It's all about NFTs and DeFi. I do a YouTube channel. It's still in German on NFTs with 15,000 subscribers. And I'm all about NFT. And later on, I started collecting. I'm a collector by heart, and from the bottom of my heart, I love collecting stuff, and I began collecting art block stuff. Next week on Tuesday, in our Future of Finance community, we'll have Eric Snowfro as an interview guest, which will be super interesting, I think. Yeah, and then I minted 10 Bored Apes on May 1st. Never sold a single one. People called me crazy for that, but I love the apes. I love the Bored Ape community, and I flat out love the NFT community. As I said, NFTs are my life, and every day is about them, and I try to learn more every day, and there is something to learn every day. And I just love being in this space and being with people like you. I met you very early, met in the sense of that I followed your Twitter in the NFT space, and it's always interesting to follow your stuff and learn. And yeah, this is what I do for a living mostly. I write books. I have my mentoring group, and I'm all about NFTs.
I like how you evolved, and from, one being we call it actors, though you had a voice, a significant voice. I mean, it's the acting career that you go through
Yeah.
to create a character, to create a name for yourself that bridged into, being to radio for a historic, like 23 years in any career, let alone radios. And radio's a hard gig to get into. Heck, I've been into DJing for about 2 years tops, just trying to stay anonymous through these AR filters. But being able to evolve into your passion, which is finance, finding out what's next, as I try to see. I see same parallels where in my mid 40s I saw the Web 2.0 take off in the .com era, and one of the first things I did was I bought E-Trade when you still had dial internet, to buy stocks, which you can buy on the internet, which was like, wow, that was the first time it can happen, prior to cell phones, prior to anything. So I actually bought stock in E-Trade and also traded on the E-Trade platform. That hundreds of dollars maybe turned into I think $1,500 going into college. Cool. And then I bought Apple stock. I bought Apple stock at $12 a share. Oh yes, $12 a share, my friend.
Congrats.
Yes, but something called quarter drafts take effect when you're in college, where you can buy these beverages called beer. I'm sure you're familiar with it in Germany, and they're a quarter. And so
beer
or somewhere in the $20 range. So shame on me, but that's how you evolve in the space. I made $6-8 a share. That was worth gold in my pocket as a college student. Fast forward to this Web3 experiment. Very similar to you. I had some Bitcoin. I understood, the finance of it, somewhat the collectability of it. I viewed Bitcoin as changing of digital currency, but I saw it as collectible. Like, all right, a lot of famous people have spend it on anything. I'm not going to buy pizza with it. Enter in Ethereum. All right. We'll rewind a little bit. This will go back to the beer story. Chicago. In Chicago, we play softball, and it's bare hand softball. A lot of broken fingers playing this. And after the games, you usually go to a local watering and grab a couple beverages. Well, I noticed each time I'd, get 2 or 3 beers and drop a 20 on the table. And, at the end of the month, that's $100, $120. Well, I'm like, I'm stuck doing this, and I'm buying Ethereum. So all my friends are like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I showed them on my phone. I'm like, I'm buying Ethereum. And like, you're an idiot. Like, that's a Ponzi scheme. Exact same words, Mike, that you had. You're a fool. So fast forward 18 months, every Thursday, dollar cost averaging anywhere between $50, $200 in Ethereum, depending on if it's up or down. did my due diligence, did my research, and I just hodled and hodled and hodled. Well, then it came into, well, what do you spend your Ethereum on? Enter CryptoPunks. And this enters actually Snowfro as well. I hopped in the Discord and did more research. Well, what are CryptoPunks about? Well, the really only way you can find it is a website, and then it says link to Discord. I had no clue what Discord was. Mike, I didn't even own my own computer up until 18 months ago. I'm standing in Decentraland right now. I didn't own my own computer. I went to college. I had a computer lab. There's no laptops back then. I didn't have my own cell phone until probably, I don't know, 18, 20 years ago. And I was on a cell phone looking into Decentraland, how to do it. And Snowfro, Pranksy, John and Matt from CryptoPunks, Tony Hedada, Claire Silver. You see the list, all the OGs.
Yeah.
They taught me. They never forced my hand. This is a MetaMask wallet. Here's a YouTube link so you can see how to use a MetaMask wallet. Here's what you don't want to do. Here's what you do want to do. And that was my friends. Those are the people I degened with. I'd hop on at 9 o'clock at night after I was done with teaching, after I was done with the family, and we would just pass information. And the information is like, what do you think of this CryptoPunk? What do you think of this art? What do you think of this attribute class? Hey, why are the 3D glasses worth more than a spotted? So art was all in the eye of the beholder. Well, those alphas in the industry, as we know, Snowfro branching off to art blocks, Pranksy turning into one of the best collectors in the entire world. They turn into, hey, Crypto Novo, you want to get into this thing called NBA Top Shot? It's beta. Here, we'll essentially give you a bunch of free packs, open them up and see what you think. Well, being a collector, I didn't open up the packs, and I still have all the packs in my account. I don't know. I stopped buying them because the first couple times in beta, people stopped buying them because no one was buying them. And that started the snowball effect. I don't know how the mic. How about we pass it back? Any questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas, or something that you brought up you want to talk about?
I just wanted to say for the audience that this is, in my point of view, the real alpha. Just try to keep the packs closed, whatever kind of packs you have. I'm collecting, I did collect Pokemon cards. I have a PSA 9 full set. And you know that Logan Paul is making a living from opening packs from 1999 that have not been opened. And this is exactly what you did with Top Shots. And what I, for example, I have my 10 Bored Apes, and I got 10 serums. I got 9 M1 and 1 M2 serum. Did I mutate one of my punks or sell my serums? No, I probably never will. There will be a place in time where I will own one of the last serums that you can use to get a mutant, to mutate an ape. And this is exactly what you did. And this is what I mean by really delay the gratification. Don't, as soon as I own 2 Wii Friends, a gift goat and a peacock, and several Series 2 also. Big fan of Gary. Was on at VCon too. And I will get my VFriends collectible cards soon now. I will not open a single pack. These will stay closed forever because I know that people cannot delay the gratification. They always want to open the stuff because they want to see if they have something rare. I somehow have the ability to not do that. And you too, it seems. And this is, I think, some kind of alpha to really not open the stuff and wait for years to come. This is exactly how I collect too. I buy stuff. I basically never sell. I never sold one of my CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, not a Chromie Squiggle, not my Twin Flame from Justin Aversano, nothing. I think I sold, if even 3 NFTs in my whole life, because I'm hodling my way through. Because being in crypto with Bitcoin in 2013 felt very, very early to me. But in being in NFTs now, and this is a message to everybody listening out there, I think you guys are in Bitcoin 2011. We're so super early. There's not even 500,000 people worldwide collecting NFTs yet, and having the patience to just keep your stuff and amass stuff and buy a Meebit, buy a CryptoPunk, buy whatever you can afford to buy, and keep the stuff for years to come. This is, I think, where generational wealth will be created.
I got excited. You just an Aversano. I'm going to pull it up here. I have this in the Novoverse. If you want to hop in the Novoverse, it's the Decentraland 2369. And I'm actually looking at a hoodie. The goat hoodie is it's a albino, which is the rarest of the skin attribute classes in CryptoPunks.
Yeah.
And then also I'm looking at a Justin Aversano, and it actually has a 3 and an 11 on the back, just like my Twitter handle, 311, and one of my favorite bands. Justin Aversano is one of the first people I did have live streaming in this space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he was actually, to tell you the truth, I didn't like him at first because he was, as I called him, a pitbull, and he was a very salesman-like person. And one thing I didn't realize until getting into the space is I loved him for that after the fact, because he was an artist and he worked entire life working hard. And it's no different from me being a teacher trying to motivate students to kick a kickball, tie their shoe, be a good sport if they're in physical education class, than it is for him to teach me about art and education. And he made significant steps in the photography world, bringing them into NFTs for the first time.
Yeah.
And he looked at this picture 3,000 times, if not a million, and he never realized it had 3 and 11 on the back of it. And it's one of the only few ones of his twin flames where there's not like a real close-up of their faces. And so it meant a lot to me to own this from him and support him. I'm not so much of a diamond hand. I'm a flipper. So I have flipped dozens of twin flames. But from that, I wanted to help him because I had the twin flames, and he wants to find the right owners for his pieces. And this one was the right owner for me. And with that, he contacted me. He's like, Crypto Novo, like, I know you don't want to sell your twin flames, but I think I have someone that this connects with, or this connects with this person. So we found the right pieces for the right people. And it was important to me. And it was important for me also because the secondary sales helped him as an artist. So he can create cool things like quantum art, where he's able to employ people and get the voice out there for people, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You did talk about the gift goat there. I know gift goat comes with some gifts.
Yeah.
And I think one of them was Jen Stark, good friend Jen Stark.
Yeah.
I know this is in the green room, but why don't you show off? We got some, we have a visual medium we can use here. Let's show it off here. Yeah. If you're not watching, you can look up at the pin tweet live from Paris Hilton, and you have an Infinite Objects, Jen Stark, cut frame and custom NFT in there. Dang, it's a gift code on the back, numbered
17. Even a lucky number for me. I like all 17, 18, 19, 7, 8, 9. And this is my first Infinite Object. It's one from Jen Stark, as you said. It's one of the many gift code presents the gift codes got already. I have a blue label Johnny Walker whiskey up there. I have my gift code jacket. I got shoes, the red Vans, and you get an NFT every time you get a gift with gift code. So I'm super happy about having a gift code. Besides, it also doubling as an entry, as a ticket for the VCon. I've been to the VCon this year and will be at the VCon next year and the year after. And I'm super happy about having a gift code. I didn't mint it. I minted a peacock for 1 ETH. I'm super happy about that. It's also a rare peacock. And the gift code always bugged me that I didn't get one at the time. And then I talked to Gary on Twitter, and he was trying to look for someone wanting to sell it, and I saw an offer on OpenSea, and there's perhaps a hack for people that are not in the space such a long time. You can from time to time find out with the wallet address on Twitter who it is. and I found out who it is. I wrote him, and I haggled a little bit about the price, and we did a deal then. And I bought the gift code later on. And
You can find those on OpenSea. Sometimes on people's OpenSea account. Let's see if I can go to mine right here. And you click on an item, it might bring you to not right here. It might bring them to their OpenSea account, have their Twitter handle linked to their OpenSea account.
yeah,
For me, my Crypto Novo, I have it there because I do want to communicate with people and talk to people. And on the same token, I try to stay away from the naysayers and the apples and bad actors in the space. So if people do have a question for me, I usually have them reach out to me on my Twitter DMs so I can do my due diligence. And I really don't, unless it's wrapped ETH on OpenSea. I mean, that's just the way it is.
yeah,
Just for
yeah.
safety.
And if someone hasn't linked Twitter, you can just take the address, put it in the wallet address, put it into the search function at Twitter, and from time to time they posted their address for something they wanted to get, and from time to time you can find who you're looking for with this little hack.
You were talking diamond hands. You were talking diamond hands. I don't think it's diamond hands. I call it participation. I was lucky enough to artifacts when they had the Jeff Staple pigeons, and it cost you $1 and it costed you gas. So I think it was like gas at the time. I think it was like $50-$60. So for like $60, I minted 3 pigeons. Each pigeon turned into a clone. Each clone turned into a pod. Each pod turned into another pod. You get the picture. So it's the same thing like you said with your Bored Apes. And I didn't mint a Bored Ape. I minted voids at the time. I minted dozens of voids on the same week. Cool. I wanted the Web3S of having full body rigging. I was able to bring it. We were able to bring it into VR. I wasn't too sure of a PFP pick, and to tell you the truth, and here's your biggest regret. You asked me, we had some pre-crush and set out. My biggest regret, it wasn't not minting Bored Apes, because like I don't regret any of that. It was being, it was being at the time a CryptoPunk maxi, in the sense that I felt that the Bored Apes had something against CryptoPunks. So I felt like, well, I'm gonna have something against you, Bored Apes, and not buy in because there was like Bored Apes are better than punks, Bored Apes are better than punks, Bored Apes are better than punks. And then I don't know, I was competitive, but we're all in this together. I was competitive over individuals saying something over another thing. What if I just had an open mind? I was like, cool, I want to be part of this community, which I am now, and I'm so happy I am, and other communities. So like my biggest is being narrow-minded due to competitiveness. And I don't know why. I don't know. I guess we're all competitive in a way. I didn't voice it like CryptoPunks were better. I understood that Bored Apes had the individual IP rights at the time, and that stuff I learned about in the process. And that's the whole reason why I made myself anonymous using this AR filter, is because then I can able to sell my CryptoPunk as far as my name, but not use my CryptoPunk to make money, if that makes sense. Because at the time, Larva Labs, you can make up to 100K or whatever it was. And I didn't want to have any infringement. I wanted to play by the rules and do it right and do it the proper way. So I learned a lot from the Bored Apes. I aped in as soon as I sold the CryptoPunk. So I laddered up and I diversified. So I wanted to get out there into different things, into the squiggles of the world, into the other pieces I couldn't afford. Because I got extremely lucky to get in when I got in, and laddered up and diversified from that. So my biggest regret is being overly competitive and not doing my due diligence and looking into other groups and other things. That was Bored Apes for that. How about right back into you? Do you have any, does Warren himself have any regrets? And it doesn't even have to be NFT space. It could be like a chapter you left out of the last book that you want to add into this book, or whatever it may be.
My biggest regrets really are in the NFT space, I think. And funnily, I think I even wrote a tweet along the lines of biggest regrets in NFTs always start with I did not buy or I sold. I had the chance to buy Ringers when the floor was 3 ETH. and I had a chance to buy Fidenzas when the floor was 6 ETH. And I didn't do it just because at that time I already had invested all my money, and I had the chance. I had the choice between Twin Flames or Fidenza. And I went for the Twin Flames, which I'm super happy about because I'm a big supporter of Justin. Justin has also been in my Future of Finance community for an interview, like also G Money, for example. Big fan of G Money and a supporter of G Money too. But still not pushing the button on the Fidenza and the Ringer are two regrets. And funnily, you are into the artifact space. I am not at all in the artifact space, and this is a big regret for me too, because I love what the guys do. For me, the clones, the mint price was too high at that time. In retrospect, it would have been nice, but it's always about the retrospect. And I'm regretting not minting my first sneakers with the punks, and then not getting into and not staying in the artifact space. Although I've been writing with Benito at that time, but I had to stop somewhere investing money because I was already invested highly. Yeah, and these are my 3 NFT regrets.
Yeah, it's always woulda, coulda, shoulda. Same thing you're talking about. One thing that we're live in Decentraland here. As you can see, the screen's up and running. I have so many different things running at the same time. It's coming out pixelated right now. As far as a billboard that we have in here, we had a billboard the other week with the first NFT political candidate using NFTs to fundraise. So we're seeing the pliability with that. But you know, I have kind of held back on NFTs for a while, and a lot of it has to do with bandwidth. Like I couldn't keep up with, oh boohoo, couldn't keep up with all the drops, but like I couldn't keep up with the community.
Yeah.
And that was like one aspect that I wanted to at least sound with is I was doing in the space as far as being a good community member, far as branching out to people, far as being there for people. So like I slowed down the different communities I've been in within what NFT projects I'm hopping in on. So I'm being selective of what I'm going, because we're all in different locations in our NFT careers, but like it almost comes down to like portfolio management. So like I guess one piece of advice for like people is like, don't forget about your old NFTs that you have. I have a Cryptoad right there. Like, what am I doing with that? Well, there is a Cryptoad Novo out there, and that's actually my son. So I'm actually trying to create an IP image for my son to use so he can stay anonymous. He loves playing video games. It's just a matter of time before he's playing video games and critiquing them online for viewers to watch too, because I'd rather have him do that than watch someone else do that. And that's just my personal thing. There's people yelling at a screen saying, jump, 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 run, run, run. I might as well record him doing that and have him fun doing that and give that to his friends. So like, don't forget about what's in your wallet right now is probably a piece of advice, because you don't want to miss out on an airdrop. And I think I did miss out on an airdrop one time. And it was like, hey, there's like, you forget to click a button. There's 1 ETH in free NFTs, you know, that you missed out on. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, and then like what it was, that experience of like the Bored Apes to getting 10 kennels, you know, like how that plays out.
Yeah, first I'll really have to underline over what you said there. Really take care of your portfolio. Take a look what you have. Get into the Discords. There are so many free airdrops. I know people who missed the Bored Ape kennel drop. What? And it's really, it's hard to keep track when you're in many communities, and I am sure I have missed airdrops, but most of the time I think I didn't. So really take care of your stuff. All the pictures I see there, it's like 90% part of my portfolio. What you have, like Chromie Squiggles, Cryptodes, Little Nouns, everything I see, really, really great collection you have there. It was so cool. I was at a very nice Bavarian lake around the time last year. I think it was in July or something like that. And then I saw, hey, we get an airdrop. The Bored Apes. and it's dogs. And I was like, oh, okay, dogs, nice. I get 10 dogs. And then I checked the floor price, and it was like one dog is 1 ETH. And I even didn't got some not floor dogs. It was like, what the hell? This is free money. It was like, woo, party time. Not opening a bottle of champagne, but really, what the hell? At that time, I think ETH was at around 2,000, and I was like, this is a $20,000 airdrop. I don't believe it. Very funny. This is a picture that I sent to one of my friends with the Bored Apes at the time when the floor was like 0.11 or 0.3 or something like that. Because I told many of my friends, hey, you should really get a Bored Ape when I minted on May 1st. So it's always a cool thing to get airdrops. Yeah, this is from my graphics guy who was supposed to do a thumbnail for my YouTube channel for the VCon video we did there, and he was like, "Ah, shall we take this?"
Perfect thumbnail. I was fortunate enough to get my nieces some World of Women. I got a whole bunch of World of Women when the price was extremely low. Like, I didn't mint it, but I'm like, that was the next thing. It was after Aversano. I was just like, well, where are the women in this NFT space? Because like, I was good friends with Claire Silver, and I saw the awesome AI art that she was generating. I was who else was in there? Nicole Buffett, darling. And I had a whole host of female artists that I'm like, you guys have awesome stuff. And I was like trying to make a name for them. I shouldn't say that. I was trying to present so they can make a name for themselves, because they were making such cool stuff. And then that came across to World of Women. I'm like, this is like one of those rookie card type of situations. Like, you're going to get the rookie card of female-led NFT projects by Yam herself. And so I'm like, all right.
I'm totally with you, by the way, Novo, with the World of Women. Same for me. I saw them at 0.1. I bought 6 of them, and it was so clear for me that the first NFT women's project will be big. And I still have them, and I also have the Galaxy for sure. This is one airdrop I missed. There was one World of Women generator stuff.
Capacitor.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have them. They got airdropped to you, and what I did is I gave the pieces right away. So I knew that, all right, it was like, I think I got them at like, these ones I didn't. I got these at a little bit more, but better looking. But I think I got them at 0.1 or 0.2 ETH. And I sent it to them. I'm like, put them in your wallets. And when you girls turn 16, just sell it and buy a car.
Cool.
And I did that kind of spite my sister. I love her very much, but it's competitive sister. And I'm like, I'm going to try to get them a car just through NFTs. Well, they just turned 16. One of them just turned 16, or is 16 in a month. So it's just like, honestly, like, what type of car do you want from an NFT? With that, they got the capacitors, they got the World of Women G, and it's like the same thing. Like, whoa, these things are worth like whatever it was, like 0.1 ETH, 1 ETH, 0.8 ETH. Like, airdrop me like a free $1,000, and I'm like, no, someone just gave you art, and it's worth what the community says it's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
And they say, what do I do with it? And I go, do whatever you want with it. So now their problem is they have diamond hands and they love it. And great. Like, hey, can I have an Avatar X filter like yours? I'll put that plug up there if you need one of these filters.
Yeah.
And they want to do they want book clubs. They want to talk with their friends. They want to do TikTok videos. They want to do this. They want to do that with their NFT. And I said, let's wait till you're 18 and then we can talk about that type of thing, because I don't want to piss off my sister too much. She's my older. I might be faster. I can run away from her, but she knows how to punch you to give you those Charlie horses. They found that right angle there. So yeah, it is a fun way to do in the space, and it is fun things to do in space. Let's transition to your book here, because one, I love the posters, physical posters behind you. Those aren't. That's not a filter you have there. And then 2, you got the books. I want to talk, and this will be a great transition, perfect transition. I'm going to sip of water here.
Doing the same.
As NFTs, another sip of water, being the international language, cryptocurrency and NFTs being the international language. And here I am, we are talking worlds apart. And I have actually tons of people chiming in from your neck of the woods in Germany saying hi on Twitter Spaces. So thank you guys for listening. Melina Rose, very again, thank you. Everyone who's listening and chiming in with their requests and their good mornings. Yes, thank you. Or good nights or good evenings if you're on the other side of the pond or in Germany. But NFTs being the international language and the future of finance, the complete guide to investing in non-fungible tokens. And I want to talk about that international language because these books are going to be coming out in other languages, right?
Yeah. I already have the Korean version here, very nice with my little picture here, and it's really very well done. It's even got multiple colors, and it's super interesting to see see your book in another language. This is the book in German. It's coming out in Portuguese in September, and the English version, as you just showed, on Amazon is out. You can order it on Amazon and at Barnes and Noble. This is print on demand. This is a German publisher, and they're licensing it to Korea and now to Portuguese language, and I hope some more languages. And I'm super happy about that. And this is how we met, because I in my first book already I had a list of we have to call them influencers somehow, but people who know their ways in the Twitter NFT space. And I'm having a whole list from DeFi through Kevin Rose and Gary and Punk 6529 and 4156 that I'm sending out these questions to, like I did to you, because I want to do small parts in the new book where they answer these 4 short questions that are supposed to help everybody that is new, who is new in the space. And this is because the story behind is this: the first book was so successful that my publisher wanted to have a second book, and I'm doing the second book that will be released in the beginning of 2023, and I'm just writing that now.
All right. So with that, you're trying to ask the 4 common questions to kind of see, like, I don't know, just the range of responses. One of it, and one, I don't know why you consider me an influencer. I just try to project people's cool art out there in a positive manner. So if I'm giving a positive outlet towards something, I'll influence that all day, every day. I did start doing this for actually like security purposes, because I am training CryptoPunks, and if there was a wrong button and I was live streaming it, I was like, did I make a mistake? Did someone else mistake? So when you're dealing with assets that are that big, and then also I don't want to have any funny business either. I want to tell people exactly the transactions I'm doing. One was we knew there was going to be some alpha coming out with Justin Aversano. He told us the alpha. Hunter Orwell was on the stream. He was trying to secure some liquidity to buy some twin flames. And I told him, I'm like, I'm buying these twin flames. Like, I have to do it. The floor is so separated. If I buy these 2 twin flames here at 11, the floor is going to be at like 50 before you know it. And I had to do that for financial advice. And I did that live, so people understood what I was doing. And I said, I'm going to flip this and probably put it at 50 because that was the gains I wanted to do. And there were I didn't want any secrets, any SEC stuff behind it. So that's why I do a lot of my transactions live. But what is the main reason why people follow your NFT content? First is first in this space. And I was able to have one of my best friends, my best friend for over 35 years, Beskar X, create an anonymous figure of my NFT. As you see, this CryptoPunk 3706 keeps me anonymous because I was streaming content while being a teacher, and I didn't want to have any interference in the classroom because you could be removed. So if someone said, hey, this CryptoPunk is streaming live content, look at them, and then all of a sudden it does go viral and it is in the classroom, I could be reprimanded for it. So I wanted to stay anonymous in the space, but I wanted to have fun, right? We're all here to have fun. So I'm trying to make fun content. I'm trying to get a AR filter on G Money, which he has and he uses. I'm trying to get the Justin Aversanos out there testing the boundaries of how to pull art from photography into this space. I am pulling J.R.R. Tolkien, who has found his doppelganger as a Clone X and has brought it into every metaverse platform from OnCyber to the Novoverse you can think of. And I want to give people an outlet to talk about their NFTs so then they have that opportunity. The same reason I have the opportunity to talk about it, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to get listened to. Even if it's your 5 seconds in fame, even if it is writing a book that's a bestseller for that month, that year, whatever, people just want to be heard. And being a teacher, I'm able to listen to students all day. And sometimes those kids don't even get listened to when they go home. I know, I'm a parent. Sometimes I don't want to listen to my own dang kids when I get home. But people want to be listened to. People want to talk about the stuff that they make and create because they're proud of their work. So I'm proud of the work I've created and the friends that I brought in here, from Mr. Dingia making the Novoverse to David and his lovely wife, who was able to move from a third world country into England because of selling AR filters. I don't make any money off these AR filters besides getting free AR filters. So I'm able to create comments for other people, create a mini ecosystem within the Novoverse. So my friends can have a sake and degen out and maybe make a little extra Ethereum on the side. But it's not about money for me. It's about friends, and it's about the NFT community. Now, at the end of the day, there is a silver lining. You know that. The more people we get in here, the more people we onboard, the better off we're all going to be. And yeah, the more money it's all going to be in here. But it's about the systematic change, because these NFTs are placeholders for contracts. These contracts can honestly do freaking anything.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm off my soapbox right now. So my question to you is, what is the main reason why people are following your stuff and your content? I know that you have been, personal finance guru, radio for 23 years. But, the last 3 years, you had that transformation from maybe your Web 2 life into the Web 3 life. But, why do people follow you? Like, what's behind it for you?
Yeah. So why people follow me overall is, I think, because I try to show them with my books basically how to become financially independent. And it's always about the three leverages, or about the three levers: making more money, spending less, and investing more wisely. And this is why people have started following me. Why people follow me on Twitter, I think, and on my YouTube channel, which is nowadays all about NFTs, is, I think, because I give them know-how that they can monetize sooner or later. And by monetize, I mean by buying and selling, by hodling, by starting their own business in the Web3 space, as I do, consulting people that want to do NFT drops. Just really getting the knowledge. And this is basically what I'm trying to do with my Twitter, with my YouTube, with my books, and with my Future of Finance community. I try to I wanted to become a teacher like you, because both my parents were teachers. I was becoming a teacher for English and French. And I'm a teacher nowadays. I want to teach people, because I think the sooner you have the knowledge about the whole Web3 and NFT and crypto space, the better you can sooner or later monetize that and live a free life. And I think living a free life is one of the best things you can have in your life. And free meaning not, no, I want to formulate it in a positive way: being able to do whatever you want to do and what you think you are here for on this planet, and not being told by your parents, your boss, your sister, your whatever, whoever. Just living a free life and having complete ownership over your life.
And it has happened, and it has been done, because I'm speaking with someone who's done it. I'm actually in a Chewbacca onesie with someone who's done it myself, and I've seen it happen. And it does take a lot of failure, and it does take a lot of startups. And like, I think that's the cool thing about Web3 space, is you can have these startups and fail over and over again. I don't know how many times where I've tried to, like, hey, I'll make wearables for everyone and this and that, and it just didn't work. hey, I mean, even these AR filters, we still have to grind to try to get the AR filters out there. But you can troubleshoot. I mean, how many of us have, and everyone has this, an NFT in their wallet that you don't want to talk about, like the skeleton in their closet. Oh, this is going to be the next awesome thing. This is going to be, I'm going to be able to 10x, 100x this thing. And then you look at it, you're like, there's no utility behind this. This is total FOMO. And it's just figuring that type of stuff out. But without taking a risk, without being in the space, there won't be any reward. And those risks can be minimized by education and doing your due diligence and not overdoing it is the other thing.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to get into CryptoPunks at $200 a piece. I spent an entire paycheck on that, which is probably pretty silly, but I spoke with my wife about it at the time. Ethereum crashed down to about $200. It was about $196 when I bought it. I thought it was a good time to buy in. That's when everything was crashing. When there was blood in the streets, I used that as an opportunity to buy in. People said, this is going to zero, that's going to zero. And I go, if this is all going to zero, we're all going to be so hurt at my money's going to be worthless, and I might as well be in a cryptocurrency because maybe that will have a silver lining when all the COVID stuff went down.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And that was the transformation that actually made a huge jump there. But there again, it wasn't like I emptied the bank account to do it. It was a risk that I took at that time that was plotted. I was going to enter it into stocks. I wanted to diversify, and we'll see how it pans out. 2 years later, 2.5 years later, is done all right. The most important thing is the friends that I found in the space, because those are giving me new outlets of education that I never knew existed. And that's why we have these spaces, and that's why we're presenting it. Take a look up the top on the pinned tweet, how he invested 0.0 ETH, 0.8 ETH, excuse me, and had that type of return underneath. You can take a look at that. Books on multiple platforms coming out. You can check it out on Amazon. You can on your Kindle. You can get a hardcover. You can get a paperback. Yep. And also multiple language is cut soon. Speaking in multiple languages. Had the thought process of being a teacher growing up, following in his parents' footsteps. Did not to pursue his own path, but still educating. It's funny how that turns out.
Yeah.
Mike, anything else for the good of the order here on this fun day Sunday?
Yeah, 2 more questions, and we have the perfect segue here because I think you already talked about it a little bit. What was your biggest success in NFTs?
My biggest success in NFTs actually was, if you go into my Twitter handle here, and you go into my link tree, I'll pull it up here as I'm talking. People might say that's not my Twitter handle. People might think, oh, getting all these CryptoPunks early. Oh, getting the clones early. Whatever it may be. What I'm most proud of, you can maybe take a look. Where is it down here? There is an article that was in Cointelegraph, and it has my origin story about how to where I'm at today.
Cool.
And unfortunately, I can't find it. I'm stalling under pressure. But then with that, it comes a speech that I did NYC in 2021. And the reason I'm most proud of that is I got 1 D in school, and that D was in public speaking. And it took me a lot of hard work, and it took me a lot of time to get up on a stage and talk in front of people. Oh, yeah. I can do it in my computer. I have a bunch of tabs where I can look for resources. I don't have maybe the strongest memory as far as remembering facts all the time, but if I have little slides I can go through. So my biggest accomplishment was getting up on stage for the first time, anonymous. And yeah, I wasn't behind the filter. So I was able to tell my origin story in here. And at the end of it, I got applause. I got high fives as I walked off the stage. So that was very validating for me. Here it is at the end. I'm asking a question of, who here has had someone, well, I guess I can just play the sound here.
Get you here today.
And this class is for all those people that help you get to where you want to be. So on the count of three, we're going to be like one community. And you can't spell community without unity. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey, I'm Crypto Novo. I'm here to help. Peace. Stay positive and love life.
Great, great.
I mic dropped. I walked off stage to high fives. Fast forward to NFT NYC this year, and I was at Radio City Music Hall, and I was able to do the exact same thing in front of a larger crowd in one of the most historic places to have people be. And
It's not about Crypto Novo.
I don't know.
Crypto Novo is the aggregation of all my friends and followers.
I don't know if there's ever
So
been a
this
mic
last step
drop
is
on
the
Radio
NFT
City Music Hall
community as a
stage.
whole. So open those hands up, just large like an alligator. And the count of three, this one is for the NFT community because you can't spell community without unity. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I'm Crypto Novo. Stay positive and love life. Peace.
So those people exiting the stage right there
Not about Crypto Novo.
are the people who
Crypto
got
Novo
me
is
to
the
the spot.
aggregation of all my
And
friends.
Spotty Wi-Fi, one of the first people we made filters for, and he started NFT spaces with me, and we were able to create live content. Then it was BeskRX for 35 years who made these AR filters, and then JRR Token, who is the guy who gives me my alpha. In the sense like, hey, you probably artifacts. Hey, you probably want to mint this. Hey, you want to do that.
Cool. Have to follow him.
My largest accomplishment is being able to get my friends on center stage because they deserve it, and they deserve it more than me. And people look at me as the alpha in the space, but I don't get it there without having aggregating information from people like you, Mike, from people like Spotty Wi-Fi, from the people listening below right now. And so my greatest accomplishment is being able to get my friends to come with me for the ride.
Wow. Such a great story. And I just realized we have a lot in common. Not only the stuff in our wallets, but same for me. I was super anxious of speaking in front of a crowd. When I began in radio, and I had a boss at that time who said, I think you can do that, go on stage. And I was like, no, I'm gonna shit my pants. Really, I cannot do that. And he said, yeah, just try it out. And somehow it played out in a way that I seemed to be a natural on stage. And I did many stage shows, many over 100 stage shows that had 20,000 people and more. The largest was 66,000. And I did the intro for Joe Cocker, who was still alive at that time. And later on, I gave public speaking courses at the university. But still today, as soon as someone says go on stage, I'm like, oh yeah, really? Do I have to do that? It's really, yeah. We have that in common, and it's so funny. It's two teachers having stage fright.
Yeah, right. And that's all we do is we communicate in front of the stage every single day when we're talking with people. But
yeah.
You know, maybe that's the adrenaline that gets us going.
Oh yeah, a lot of time it is so. And I have to get the last question, which would be, what is your most important piece of advice for the NFT space, Novo?
My most important piece of advice is stay positive and love life. I've dealt with losing NFTs. I've dealt with sending maybe not a lot of Ethereum, under an ETH of an Ethereum to the wrong account.
Okay.
And that stuff happens, and it sucks, but it also sucks not having resources to get a job, not having the ability to have internet access. I mean, heck, my grandpa worked in a coal mine. He actually worked in a coal mine. So just stay positive and love life is my best advice, because this is a long journey. I have to remind myself it isn't a sprint, it is a marathon. I often calculate NFT time to dog years, where 1 minute is 7 minutes, 1 year is 7 years. So if someone comes to you and says, if you don't say like, hey, I've only been in the space for a month, you might as well be here for 7 months, and you're totally ahead of someone else.
Oh yeah, you are.
And with that positivity, you'll be able to find other positive people around you. And sometimes my outlet is hopping on and talking with people in the space and expressing the knowledge I know and learning from them. And that is a good outlet to have, is having an outlet to talk, and also being a good listener. So with
Yeah.
that, get your education, listen. If you see something, talk about it, because your ideas are just as good as the next person's ideas.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Stay positive and love life, and things will fall into place.
Yeah, that's great advice, and I think you're walking the talk here, because you're exactly doing that, and it's great what you do in the space, and you're leading the space to a good place for us all, and I think that's something people can be grateful for, and I'm grateful for that.
We all are. We all are grateful for it. Full for it. We're grateful for you branching your knowledge into other worlds and other regions and other realms. So when those books are dropping, why don't you come on back and we can do the same thing? I don't know how to speak a lick of German, but if you ever want to do a German spaces within Decentraland, the Novoverse, I think that would be cool, having it in other languages and other dialects. And that's a couple clicks of a button for me. So if you need to have a book release in another dialogue or another language, I think that would be cool.
Great.
But I appreciate the time, and I appreciate setting this up. If you
Thank
want
you.
to revamp any of the questions later on, I'm always here to help.
Yeah.
If you want to bring someone else on and interview them on this platform as well, I'm here to help. Because
Thank you
that's what
so much, Noah.
Yes. And for all our listeners down there, awesome. Kevin Weber, thanks for tuning in. I know I had Drip Baller down there before. Beavers and DCL, thanks for listening. Well, I got people watching on Restream. I got people watching on my YouTube and on Twitter. Thank you for all of that. And you're also watching on our Twitter Spaces, which is live video action. So make sure you're following me. I do have wearables. If you just go into my my Discord, I do have Decentraland wearables. I pretty much just need your ENS name or your public wallet address. Just the public stuff. Don't give me the private keys. I don't want that type of stuff. But I'll send you some wearables, and I got them out there. But before you do any of that, head over to Amazon, or you can go to Warren himself's Twitter handle, which I'm going to click up here, right there. And you can get that book. It doesn't need to be shipped to you. It can just get downloaded to you in your Kindle. You got a hardcover, paperback. Get in there. I did a GM if you read books. You can get them.
I really have to say, no, if I had that book when I started in the space, for example, I have a list of nearly all the abbreviations that I had to learn myself. That would have saved me hundreds of hours.
I still have to go through it. I still have to, like, when I'm not very tech savvy. So like when these young social media professionals come out and they're like, they're abbreviating everything. Sometimes I have to look them up myself.
Yeah,
And,
me too.
and you know what? And the thing is that I did start that way too in cryptocurrency, where I had to look up like every definition for every technical term. What is a Bollinger Band? What is the MACD? What is the fear index? Like simple things. I didn't know these things, and I'm looking it up, and there's not a lot of definitions for those things out there. There probably is now, but you are having the cheat sheet. This is the cliff notes of the cliff notes, per se, of the NFT and the future of finance. You should do book on tape. You should read that book on tape in French, since you know it, in German, since you know it, in English, since you know it, Portuguese.
Yeah, the book on tape has just come out in German. Yeah, perhaps we'll do one in English too. Et en français, on pourrait le faire aussi.
Oh, my wife knows that. Another thing we can do, like on the live business meetings, this is why I do a lot of these types of things. If I can share my RTML link, stream link, and you can plug that into Decentraland, and you can play your book on tape, just streaming, if you want to do it that way. If not, we can hook a URL in Decentraland where people can click on a link to get to this Amazon page, and or listen to it, and or. So
Thank
what
you
I'm
so
trying
much.
to do within the Novoverse is have it like a big shopping mall for foot traffic, so people can come in there and present themselves. And there's not a lot of written materials out there in the NFT space,
Yeah.
and people soak up that written material all the time. I mean, you see it in any web-based social media things, but this is a book where you can get it, own it, and decipher what is happening in this non-fungible space of NFTs. All right, Mike, anything else?
No, well, I just want to say thank you for having me. Really appreciate taking the time. Appreciate all of our listeners taking the time to listen in and to comment and to be part of that hour that we did. Really, we wanted to do 20 minutes. Super happy to have you, and thank you for the answers that will be in my next book.
Yes, you're right. Well, the answers are always somewhere. You have to find them. And I don't have the answers, but you do, because you're aggregating all the answers from some of the top names in the space. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for reaching out to the alphas I look up to. And it validates that they are at least knowing that I'm making a fun opportunity in this space. And I want to continue that fun for everyone else. And with that being said, I do have a Monster Monday show tomorrow. Where we'll be running around in Decentraland, different Decentraland locations, looking at digital billboards that are up in Decentraland. Yes, you can advertise on digital billboards now in Decentraland. But until then, I'm going to get some outro music going here. This is by Warp Sounds. You have the NFTs. You might as well use them. I like to participate with my NFTs.
I have them too.
Yes. I wouldn't figure. I would go figure. You know, we probably bought things. Maybe I'm following you, and I just minted things out of right after you minted them, and I'm just following you alpha, and you just don't know. I with a peace sign when I say stay positive, love life, peace, just like I did in the videos you watched. This is all recorded, so you can watch back on YouTube on any of this. And with that being said, stay positive and love life. Peace.
Peace, guys.
One more button. We're still live in Decentraland until then. All right, cool. Man, it was awesome catching up with you. And are you selling the book audio version of that?
The publisher is selling them.
Awesome.
It's about the publisher. This is also the reason why I could not read them out in an open space, because they have the license for that.
Yes,
and I wouldn't be allowed to.
Mm-hmm. But it is a Decentraland space. I don't want to mess with that though. If your publisher has any interest in doing that and just doing like a publishing area or like that type of thing in Decentraland, like that would be dope.
What we can always do, I can read chapters from the book. That's not a problem. Just not the whole book.
That would be awesome. Because like, what if we did like a book reading like that, based around when you have it, and then maybe find someone who has the book that speaks Korean and Portuguese.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
and then
sure.
they can almost reread it after you read it, and then you can almost do like 5-6 different languages of the same chapter.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
That's how you get the international people being brought in, and it'd just be like a book club, you know. And we could talk about that chapter afterwards in different languages if we want to. And then maybe the readers can translate the question, you know, like, oh, so-and-so has a question about this, or like, how does this translate into this language? Because there might be language barriers between different words, or how do you pronounce it? This is fun.